In a major diplomatic development, senior Israeli and Syrian ministers met in Paris for 4 hours on Thursday, marking the highest level talks between the two countries in over 25 years. The meeting was brokered by U.S. envoy Tom Barak under the auspices of the Trump administration. Israel was represented by Strategic Affairs Minister Ron Dermer, while Syria sent Foreign Minister Asad al-Shaibani. The discussions focused on de-escalating tensions, particularly in southern Syria, following recent strikes and unrest in Sweida region. U.S. officials called it a successful first step towards dialogue, with Barak stating all parties remain committed to further efforts. The Paris talks follow months of secret meetings and may signal a path towards more normalization if confidence-building measures take hold. Now we are joined by Charles Thompson. He's an Australian journalist, joins us live from Sydney. Thank you for joining us today. Welcome to NewsX World. Now, given the sensitive nature of these discussions, particularly around the southern Syria, what are the key takeaways from these recent high-level talks between them?
It's a really hard one to call because this is just such a complicated issue. It's been going on for such a long time. Now we have, of course, a new regime in Syria that's replaced another regime. The Israelis are involved. There are minorities involved. It's incredibly complicated and nobody can quite call it. And, you know, the Druze are there, but interestingly, and, you know, I'm sure I'm as much as surprised as most people would be, that there are also a Druze community is very active in Israel, and they've even been crossing the border to help their own people against the others in Syria.
And Charles, now, what does this signal about the future of their relationship?
You see, when we look from the outside, we always take the opinion that, look, these sides are never going to agree and are never going to be able to negotiate. But the fact of the matter is, if you actually get to know some of the Israelis, some of the Palestinians, some of the Syrians, at the end of the day, they have to negotiate because they're next door neighbors and things have to be done. So it's just a matter of time. Unfortunately, it's a bit opaque, so it's very hard to know what those negotiations are and how quickly this will settle. But, you know, everything's now on the new leader of Syria and how he manages this. And this is like his first real or major test since he's taken over Syria, to show his diplomatic skills with all the parties.
And Charles, now what role does the Trump administration play here with the involvement of U.S. envoy Tom Barak? What does this diplomatic breakthrough signal about U.S.'s role here?
I think the interesting thing is that the Americans now have changed. Before they had their principles, now it's more transactional. And it's quite possible that because they're looking at a far more transactional viewpoint, that they may be able to help and they may be able to get some of these issues, if not resolved, at least a little bit more amicable amongst the parties and some agreements reached. So it's quite interesting. I mean, the world likes to report that America's in chaos, but I beg to differ. You know, everything is transactional. Just now, you know, and if you want to have a look, the best, of course, were the Chinese, where everything they do is transactional. So it'll be very interesting to see over the next coming weeks and months how the Syrian leader, how the Israelis manage this, and of course the Americans working in the background. And they have shown since the Trump administration that they can pull rabbits out of the hats and, you know, get things done.
Thank you, Charles, for sharing that. Please stay with us as we'll come back to you for our next discussion as well. Now, a deadly series of explosions rocked a weapons depot in northwestern Syria.